Okay. It is still waiting. It is still waiting.
It's about a 15-second or 30-second.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't see it right away. I'm just stressing. Goodness, right? Come on, come on, come on. Ten people are waiting, and we are live. Perfect. All right. All right, got a little opening shot.
For those watching online,
Yep.
the conditions are better at home.
All right, coming in right now. All right, everybody, welcome in here to Eudora Sports Live. It is cool, cold, and rainy here in Eudora, but these Cardinals have been white hot all season long, and it's going to take maybe some rain and some wind to try to cool them off a little bit. We apologize for the late pregame. We had a couple of little technical difficulties, but we're getting the team introduced for you right here. Happy to have you join us on the Fort Scott Community College pregame show. I'm Hayden Harbs on the call, joined by Stephen Hamilton right here along with me running the camera for us. These Cardinals come in here 6-1 on the day, coming up against the Paola Panthers, who come in here after a win against Bonner Springs last week. These Cardinals have been extremely hot, and I've heard a little bit of a murmur that if the Cardinals are able to come out with a win tonight, they will secure home field advantage for the next handful of playoff games. So this is not the last time you will see the Cardinals here in Eudora Farmers State Bank Arena. Once again, we are brought to you here by Fort Scott Community College on the Postgame pregame show, where you belong at Fort Scott Community College. From nursing to farm and ranch management, John Deere Tech to theater, and so much more. Plus, championship caliber athletic programs. Learn more at fortscott.edu. And we are getting very close to kickoff here. Clock reading about 8.5 minutes away. So we're going to send you guys to one more quick little break. Then we'll bring it back for a bit more here on the Fort Scott pregame show. Keep it here on Eudora Sports Live. Ooh, cool. All right. Now that the nerves are out a little bit.
Number 5, Sasha Mentico. Number 7, Landon Murdoch. Number 12, Mason Stein. Number 13, Blake Oslo. Number 52,
Get some records pulled up and things of the sort.
Number 54, Damian Henderson. Number 57, Jackson Troutman. Number 65, Carson Martin. Number 66, Luke Anderson. Head coach of the Panthers is Mike Smith. Now the defensive starters for your Cardinals. Junior number 0, Brock Long. Sophomore number 2, Dan Kubler. Senior number 7, Bryce Mullihill. Junior number 15.
All right, we're going to come back in here.
Junior number 17, Riley Knight.
All right, we welcome you back here on the Fort Scott Community College pregame show. And we're going over a couple of more stats as we get a little bit closer to kickoff here. You can see the rain certainly starting to come down. This will be 2 straight weeks the Cardinals have played in some rainy and wet conditions. It will not be the first test they've had in the weather. However, we know this team runs the ball well and moves the ball well on the ground. So certainly you wouldn't think it would be a big problem for them out here. With Grayson Moody, Keelan Duncan got to be looking out at this rainy weather, all excited for it, knowing this is where they thrive on the ground. Their opponent today, the Paola Panthers within Frontier League, they come in 4-3. The Cardinals come in 6-1. The Paola Panthers started off their season by winning their first 2 games versus Fort Scott and Lewisburg. Then they dropped their next 2 games versus Ottawa and Tonganoxie. Since then, they've beat Pittsburgh, lost to Spring Hill, and then beat Bonner Springs last week. So they come in 2-3. Didn't look their strongest, but they managed to pull through and come out with a very impressive win on a Friday night. Again, in the elements, out in the weather. Wasn't quite this cold. I'd say it was a good 20 to 30 degrees warmer, as it is certainly chilly here tonight. We have got to be sitting somewhere in the 40s or 50s right now. It certainly feels colder than that. We are 56 degrees, feels like 51, they're telling us here. For these players we mentioned, it's about 20 degrees cooler on the field usually, so it's got to be pretty prime football weather for them. Although maybe a little bit chilly for us up here in the booth. We did get in touch with Coach Stefan a little bit over the little break in the last week or two. Reed McAvoy did reach out to him. We got a couple of cool statements from Coach Stefan where we asked him, we said the win over Tonganoxie on the road felt like he had another statement victory this season. What did you like about the game and what did you take away from that game against Tonganoxie? He said, like I said in the post-game interview with Preps KC, it was a grind on both sides of the ball. Our defense was on the field for over 60 snaps, and offensively we only had 31 snaps. We converted 3 out of 6 possessions with touchdowns on 1 of those 6 possessions, and all we needed was 2 first downs to win the game. So I put that drive percentage at 75%, which is pretty good. Overall, we never quit believing we were going to win. That's what sets this team apart. They know and believe that they can win any game. That game had some really massive performers. Cy Thomas in particular, returning from injury, had one of the best games, if not the best we've seen from him. And we mentioned that. We said Cy Thomas had potentially his best game as a Cardinal last week. The sideline scramble play comes to mind. That was a 40-plus yard carry. We said, speak to his performance and what you saw from him last Friday. How does he inspire the team to get a hard-fought close win like that? Coach Stefan said him and Houston do a great job all week preparing for their packages. Some games Houston will step up, or others it'll be Cy. Regardless, they are committed to making our team great. Cy played well and threw some really good balls. He's been working his way back from injury and getting better every day, and he is also playing some defense now, which only makes us better as a team. We got a little bit more from Coach Stefan, but for now we'll take it back out to the field. We're sitting at just under 4 minutes to go. We know they will sometimes put a little more time on the clock, but my goodness, you can see the rain blowing across the field here. This is going to be one tough matchup. The kickoff temperature, again, is going to be just over 50 degrees. We're used to playing out in the elements as well, but all these teams sit relatively close together across the state of Kansas, and it is as cold as I think it's been all season long right here in this moment for any team. Going back to some of the stats from the previous weeks, Grayson Moody was an absolute tank last week as per usual. Keelan Duncan was really the star with a couple of spectacular touchdowns. He's been a great weapon through the air and on the ground. But Cy Thomas, of course, it looks, will be the starting quarterback as we go out on the field. Yeah, Cy Thomas and Houston Carnegie both making the move out there, along with Braden Marks and Ethan Winton. A couple of seniors moving out there as well for the official coin toss here with the official. Once again, we thank you guys for joining us here on the Fort Scott Community College pregame show, brought to you by Fort Scott Community College, as we are just over 2 minutes to kick off here. You can see the Cards getting hyped on the sideline. This is one of the biggest games and biggest tests they've had all year. And again, the stakes are high here. Although they come in at 6-1, a win today puts them at an undefeated 6-0 in their regular season finale in the Frontier League. And it would also give them home field advantage for at least their next 3 playoff games to get them to the sub-state, where they would move out of the northeast corner of 4A in Kansas and they would move on to statewide 4A. Looks as if the Cardinals won the toss and chose to defer. We'll get the official ruling there, but it does appear the Cardinals will be kicking off. So it'll be the Paola Panthers to start with the ball here. We have heard from a little birdie on the Paola side that throwing the ball through the air is one of their biggest strengths. That is how they like to move this offense. Cardinals getting all kinds of amped up. Grayson Moody, I imagine, will be a big focal point on the ground today, especially when the conditions aren't ideal for throwing the ball. We also know Keelan Duncan and Cy Thomas can be phenomenal on the ground when their name is called. We'll also keep an eye out on Julian Otis and Preston White and some of those guys, Brock Long, even through the air, who had made a really big impact. We know that Bryce Mulvihill can be a really big player running the ball on the ground as well. And I'm starting to get chilly up here. This is going to be a really, really fun one. Here in Eudora, we are just under 90 seconds to go. We're going to send you to one more and then bring you back to the kickoff. Keep it here on Eudora Sports Live.
They'll just get wet. I'm good.
Right. Yeah, they won't help. I brought 2 jackets and thought it'd be pointless. I'm going to need them. I've got them both on.
Yeah.
Oh.
I hope he was right that this rain stops.
Goodness, right? Well, like, the wind coming in is going to be tough enough, let alone, let alone if we're dealing with water too. All right, bringing us back here.
Okay.
All right, it is inching up ever closer. We are just about at time for kickoff here. On Eudora Sports Live, looks as if it'll be number 22, Caden Dunback, the all-star kicker this year to kick it off for the Cardinals. He has been phenomenal. The wind will be going in his favor, but never an easy kickoff when it's all raining and in the weather. We bring to you the opening kickoff, brought to you by Wolf Diagnostic and Automotive. Since 2005, Wolf Diagnostic and Automotive has been keeping Eudora moving. Find them at 208 East Street, from tune-ups to major repairs. They service all makes and models with honesty and care. Call 785-542-5152 today, and Wolf Diagnostic will get you back on the road. And quickly, we're having some slight issues with the tee out on the field. Ball's going to knock over once again. Yep, Dunback saying, can someone come help hold this thing for me? You don't necessarily want to have the holder on the opening kickoff, but sometimes you do what you got to do. And we are off. Caden Dunback, a nice kick over to the right side, and that one's going to be fielded by Paola around the 15-yard line. They're going to stutter at the 20, reverse field, trying to bring this one back and out of bounds. Will roll Blake Koslow, the 5'9" junior for the Panthers. And that's going to bring out this Paola Panthers offense, which we have heard. Again, they come in with a solid record on the season. We know that, they can struggle a little bit with finishing off some games. We had some heartbreaking plays and losses last year for them. They come in 4-3 today, sitting at tier league. So all three of their losses this season have been in district defeats. Last year was a 42-21 victory. For 5 minutes left was actually 20-21 in favor of the Panthers. That was again, the Cardinals rallied in very, very late to take the win there. So here's going to be the give. Paola dropping back, looking deep down the field, and that one is going to be caught to Pichninko over there on the left side. That was a beautiful ball, a gain of about 40 yards, which is going to put the Panthers on the plus side of the Cardinals field early on here in the first quarter. Stein trying to draw the Cardinals off, may have successfully gotten it. Ref says no. So Stein lined up with it back to his left side. Three receivers set here for the Panthers. Again, we know throwing the ball seems to be a strong suit of theirs. High snap, Stein gives over to the running back. Running back going to make contact around the line of scrimmage and fall forward for just a couple. That was the number 1 of Bodie Shea. That's a name I certainly remember hearing last year. He would have been a freshman when we were there last season, but he has evidently been a very good rusher for this team throughout this season. And that 4-3 record they come in with, if I recall correctly, they had just a couple of wins last season. So certainly a big positive for the Panthers here. It has evidently been a strong season for them. That give going to go to Stein. He's going to give it over once again to Bodie Shea, who's going to get upfield for first down yardage and a little bit more. Paola moving down the side, and the chains will move. That's a first down for the Panthers. We know the Cardinals haven't always been the strongest team on opening drives this season. They gave up an opening drive touchdown to the Tonganoxie Chieftains and the Independence Bulldogs as of late. They came back to win both games.
First down for
Panthers have almost gotten the Cardinals offsides twice. That'll be something to keep an eye on. We know Coach Stephan has been big on proceed down on those. Stein going to toss over to his left side to Shea. Shea makes contact after a gain of 2 or 3 and will dance out of bounds. After a gain of about 4, that was Cage Crable with the assist to push him out.
Newt Schreiner on pursuit.
That was Newt Schreiner in pursuit as well. Going back to some of those conversations from Coach Stephan, we said defenses were clearly keying on keep going like normal. What does that tell you about the kind of impact he's having, and how do you keep leaning on that going forward? The Panthers, again, really trying to get some of these pushes going to get the Cardinals to move. They have not been successful yet. So this will be 2nd down and 6. Stein tosses over to Shea once again. Shea slides. That's a little bit of that rain coming into effect. He took a slip with his left foot. Goes down after going down right about at the line. That's going to bring up a medium-range 3rd down. But Coach Stephan said to that, team's keying in on Grayson more and more. He said Grayson has had a great season and is really explosive. Teams are going to try to stop him, but that opens up our quarterback run game, Key, Bryce, and our wide receivers. So he's well aware of the fact you can use Keelan Duncan and Bryce Mulvihill even more on the ground if teams are keying in more and more on Grayson Moody. And that also allows you more room to work with Preston White and Julian Otis, Brock Long, some of these other really very capable pass catchers for the Cards. This one to give, going to be tossed over to Shea. Almost brought down in the backfield, and he'll stay in bounds before being forced out. I believe that was Duncan. No, it was Des Hubler. And I believe he did get yardage there. He was forced out by Hubler, waiting to see And it looks like he might have been just short of the line to gain. It's going to be 4th down and 1. Panthers lined up like they're wanting to go for this, and it is going to be a quarterback sneak from Stein, and he's going to fall forward for evidently more than a yard. So that's going to be a 4th down conversion. So the Panthers on this opening possession, spanning over 2 minutes now, they are inside the red zone of the Cardinals. They've already had one long completion to Sasha Pachenko, and then also a 4th down conversion with quarterback Mason Stein holding on to it himself. Again, trying to keep our cameras and all the other equipment dry, so maybe not the best shots. That one Stein gives over to Shea, and Shea's going to fall forward for it looks to be a gain of just 1 or 2. So that's going to bring up second. Quite ideal for the Panthers. They're going to want to get a little bit closer to go for it, but we've also seen on this drive, going for 4th downs is not something they're shy of. Looks to be, oh, that ball goes over Stein's head. He's going to have to, that ball goes over Stein's head. He's going to have to grab it in a dribble and go back down. That's going to be grab it in a dribble and go back down. That's going to be a loss of nearly 10 yards. Able going to come off. But it looks as if the Panthers are going to stay out on the field. We've seen they can throw the ball deep. You got to think that they believe in their ability to try. You've got to almost sell out to try to see how long this team will be down the stretch. So 4th and 19 is the official call on this one. That snap was, that ball just went right off the hands of Mason Stein over his head. Clock is now running. So 4th down and 19, waiting to see which way the Panthers choose to lean to handle this. If they choose to go through the air with Stein, he's lined up in the shotgun. He's got Shea to his left, 2 receivers. 3 on his, oh, that fumble, that ball gets bobbled again. He picks it up, tosses deep to the right side, and that one hits the ground, falls harmlessly incomplete. No flags on the field, and the Cardinals will take over after a 4th down stop right close to the red zone. The Panthers were in the red zone for a good little while, but the Cardinals make a big stand. They're going to get back out here on offense. So to start the game, the Cardinals give up no points on the opening possession. Actually got some momentum for the defense. And now it looks to be Houston Carnegie, the quarterback, leading out the Cardinals today. And talking about the Panthers, we said to Coach Steph's Paola team compared to last year, and he said they played some really good games on both sides of the ball. Their running back, number 1, which would be Bodie Shea, and number 5 wide receiver, that's Pachenko, who have both already made big plays, are very explosive. The quarterback throws a good ball, and they have receivers that can make plays. We have to rally to number 1 and do a great job keeping ourselves lined up on number 5. And the Cards' first play is going to be a give, leave to Moody, and he'll go down after a gain of maybe a yard, which will bring the Cards back to 2nd down and long. That was Moody on the carry. Yeah, this Paola team is fascinating. Last year's game was an absolute thriller is the only way I can describe it. That was a back-and-forth affair. Again, with 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter, it was actually a 21-20 lead for the Panthers, but the Cardinals rattled off 3 touchdowns in very close succession, one of which I believe a Sylvie Janovic fumble return for a touchdown and a Des Hubler pick 6 was a lot of those 21 unanswered. So now 2nd down and 7. They call it a gain of 3. Carnegie under center again. He's going to give over to his left side. That's to Mulvihill. Mulvihill going to make 1 miss and get forward for a gain of a couple of more. That's going to bring up 3rd down and about 4. And I love to see Houston Carnegie in the offense. We know that Cy brings that really explosive element that made the Cardinals so dangerous last week. But we've also mentioned before that, if you're new to watching these Cardinals, that doesn't mean Cy did anything wrong. Doesn't mean there's any particular feelings of favorites one way or the other by the coaching staff. Coach Stephan just loves to use two quarterbacks. We've seen him not be shy whatsoever with both quarterbacks healthy to go between Carnegie and Thomas. Both have their strengths in the run and pass game. So 3rd and 4, the ruling. Carnegie under center. He's got Duncan in motion to his right side. He's going to toss over to Moody. Moody with a blocker. He'll be swarmed, have to reverse direction, and will gain maybe 3 yards. He's going to be just shy of the line to gain. So it's going to bring up 4th down in a little bit. Carnegie sitting right there with Coach Stephan trying to get the call. The offense wants to stay out on the field. Coach Stephan giving them a play call. Oh, they are going to give him 1st down yardage. I thought Moody was a fair bit short, but they are going to give him 1st down yardage there. So nonetheless, it is not 4th down. Cards do pick up a big first. Carnegie will go back zone. So it's a wing set once again. Duncan to the left side. Moody the running back behind. Carnegie going to get under center. This is 1st down and 10. He's going to give over to Duncan to the right side. Duncan makes 1 miss, 2 miss, 1st down and a bit more. He's got 1 man to beat, and he'll be wrapped up and brought brought down just past the 40-yard line. Keelan Duncan does what he does best, makes big plays in big moments. And we're doing our best to give you the best visible stream we can. We're doing our best to give you the best visible stream we can. That one may have been blown. He shoots right through the right side, and he is gone into the end zone. Touchdown, Eudora Cardinals. And he is gone into the end zone. Touchdown, Eudora Cardinals. That's Cardinals. That's Keelan Duncan with a big moment. His second big carry of the drive. Keelan Duncan with a big moment. His second big carry of the drive results in a Cardinals touchdown from about 30 yards out. Keelan Duncan continues his white-hot streak of the last few games where he gets the ball. Man, he truly takes it and runs with it. We can only give so much credit. That's going to be a no-good PAT. It'll bring up a 6-0 lead for the Eudora Cardinals with just under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. We'll take a brief break and bring it back to you. Keep it right here on Eudora Sports Live. Cardinals lead 6-0.
Pick up some yummy food. Visit the concession stand. Get some hot chocolate.
I am. Hey, you wouldn't happen to have a dry towel, would you? The mouse pad's a little bit. Oh, you're all good. Yep, just a towel will be perfect. Thank you. Oh, no. No. Come back there. Perfect.
I've got water running down, dripping off onto my foot.
Oh, dude, I'm doing my best here. No, I don't like that. Okay.
He's not going to be able to use it there.
Yep. Bringing it back. 3, 2, 1. Bringing it back here to you. The Cardinals lead 6-0. PAT was missed. Done back in the range. Just the hold was missed. Wasn't able to get it off. But he will kick it off again deep here. And that's going to go once again to the far right corner. It'll be fielded by Paola around the 5-yard line. And they've got a couple of decent blockers here. They will be brought down right around the 25-yard line, however. Oh, that was Pichenko. Got right back up as if he was going to try to run that one back, but the officials blow it down dead. So that's going to bring out Paola's offense for the second time today. This time they're down 1 score. We know once again we saw all kinds of capability from Mason Stein, the starting quarterback. He had a huge completion to Pichenko early on in their first drive. They got almost immediately pushed right into the red zone of the Cardinals before a botched snap put them from third and manageable to 4th and about a mile away. They went for it. Pass fell incomplete. Cy Thomas does look to be out in the fold at cornerback, so it's Des Hubler and Cy Thomas at corner for the Cardinals, followed up by Keelan Duncan and Colton Bowser lined up as the safeties. Elijah Klobes, Newt Schreiner, the usual suspects in the linebacker core, but this one Stein gets the ball, hands it off. That one came out of the hands of Shea. It's picked up by a lineman on the Paola side, and he's brought down way in the dread zone. Buried are the Panthers now. It's going to be second down and well over 20 yards to go. That was Keelan Duncan who shot into the backfield to bring down the next runner for the Panthers. Wasn't sure who got into the backfield for the Cards to make that fumble. But again, everything's so tough right now with how wet it is outside. It's a mixture of the Cardinals defense doing really well to make plays, and also it's got to be so tough to hold on to the ball right now when it's wet and it's cold. The conditions are not ideal. Stein, 2nd and 21, gives over to Shea. Shea going to get a little bit of yardage, and he'll be brought down by Bradshaw, I believe that was. Just past the sticks. That'll be around the 20. So it's going to bring up 3rd and a little over 15 yards to go here for the Panthers as we eke a little bit closer to the end of the first quarter. 2.5 minutes, just about. Running off the clock here. The rain's still consistent. We haven't had a downpour tonight, but it's just been very steady. Little mist across the entire field, across the stands too. Jackets, umbrellas, ponchos, the whole bit. But the Cardinals faithful have showed up and showed out per usual. The Paola side, to their credit, looks very full right now as well. Despite the weather conditions, they have braved the storm to watch the Panthers in their last regular season bout of the year. Stein, that snap was bobbled again. He's going to grab it, catch it, and tried to run for it himself. That ball may have popped out. Either way, the Cardinals do come away with a big hold. That's going to bring up 4th down and about a country Kansas mile to go. So you got to imagine the punt unit for the Panthers will come out, which it does. So the Cardinals will be getting the ball back here. Just under 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Clock is running. Looks as if it'll be Des Hubler back around the 50 to receive this one. And we've already seen a couple of issues with field goals and even just regular snaps with the ball. And with that exchange being clean, so you wonder on a punt like this, longer snap, how's this one going to go? The punt it's fielded well, but it goes up for maybe 10 yards of forward progress. It's going to go down around the Cardinals' 37 before being touched down just past the 35. So the Cardinals are going to come out with unbelievable field position here. They're going to be only about 15 yards out from knocking on the door of their own red zone. So they could very quickly open this one up to a 2-possession lead. Carnegie looks to be the quarterback moving out once again. And we asked Coach Steffen this last week. We said, despite being a prolific offense, Paola was held in check effectively by Ottawa, just 7 points, and Tonganoxie 0 earlier in the year. How confident are you that the defense will have a similar performance to those and be able to replicate it? As we'll turn our attention to Carnegie over here for the 1st and 10 give. He's going to give that one to Moody. Bounces over to the right side. Moody going to make 1, 2, then miss. He's past the first down marker and will stay in bounds and go down at about the 21-yard line. So the Cardinals knocking on the door of the red zone after a 15-yard gain from Moody to set up a fresh set of downs. Going back to Coach Steffen's answers, we asked him about that with defense for the Cardinals in respect to Paola's offense. And he said, like I said earlier, we really just have to focus on getting lined up, executing our assignment, and rallying to the ball. If we can do those things, then we will have a shot. So Coach Steffen, sometimes we get coach speak, but always he gives us really insightful insights into the team and the roster and how things are going throughout the week. This Paola team, you know, Reed and I looked at it last week and said, we don't want to call it a trap game, but it could be something of the sort. Here's Mulvihill to the left side. He's got all kinds of room, and he's going to dance in completely untouched. Oh, he's out of bounds. They say he did not score, but man, he's close to it. So it's going to be 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. The Cardinals are about as close as you can be to scoring without scoring. Bryce Mulvihill, we mentioned him briefly earlier, has been all kinds of effective as a supplementary option to Grayson Moody. When he gets the ball, he so often does so much good with it. And he dances the Cardinals within 2 plays. The Cardinals have moved about 35 yards and have put themselves right on the doorstep of making this a 2-possession ball game. Carnegie under center with Moody behind him. In a wing formation, gives to Moody, and he will dance in untouched. End of the first quarter, not even yet, but the Cardinals have a 2-possession lead, making it 12-0 here with under a minute to go in the first. That was Grayson Moody on a 1-yard carry. That drive highlighted by a big run from Keelan Duncan to kick it off. Cardinals get the 2-point conversion, and they are up to a 14-0 lead now with 44 seconds to go in the first quarter. We'll take another quick break and bring it back to you for the kickoff. Keep it right here on Eudora Sports Live. Cards lead 14-0.
Your quarter still says 4th quarter.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? Thank you. Goodness. Oh, I got everything else shifted.
It's okay.
Part of it. Thank you for paying attention to it. It kept telling me that OBS was disconnecting and reconnecting.
Oh, really?
BJ texted me and said, okay, he texted me and said, okay, here. You're pulling in crowd mic audio music from a camera mic. Not bad, not good. Make sure the audio from your camera inputs is turned off. And we are back in here from Eudora, the kickoff to the Panthers. That one will be fielded, and Panthers still on his feet here, reversing field around the 30-yard line. Panthers have a shot to get some significant yardage here. It's going to be a 35. Will be the final spot, so the Panthers are going to get good field position starting this one off.
Daniel brings it out for the Panthers. Tackle on the play made by Eudora, Brody Dreckheisen and Elijah Coles.
So Cards defense, which has been very stout yet today, will get another crack at it as we approach the end of the first quarter here. Just over 30 seconds left to go. Cardinals are going to be defending from the 36-yard line. It is 1st and 10 officially.
No power up top.
Oh, no. So I asked Dylan what he wants me to do, so right now I'm trying to keep stats and at least have
Oh, and that one still fighting for yards. Panthers look to have given to Shea there. Oh no, that handoff was given to Blackmore. That was Shea, they say. He got a gain of maybe 2.
I think he's hearing that microphone thinking it's a camera.
Short gain of 2 for Paola. Second and 8. That'll bring us to the end of the first quarter after 1. Cardinals 13, Panthers 0. Cardinal fans, at the conclusion of next week's home football game, Cardinal Regiment will be performing its annual Glow Show. After next week's game, Glow Show, run by KHS, Cardinal Regiment.
What I might have to do is I'm going to bring my computer down.
Okay.
I'm just going to link your broadcast and just put it live on Paola Sports Live.
Yeah, no problem.
And we'll just have my laptop sitting somewhere broadcasting. Otherwise, equipment that's not running is just getting rained on for no reason up top.
Well, it sounds like my connection's not great either, so we'll just do the best we can with it.
Yeah.
Have a bumper or an ad?
Yep.
For the best care for your pet, choose DeSoto.
So my touchpad's so wet. Water interfering with us a little bit here. Trying to get you guys cut away. This is not pregame. This is the end of the first quarter here. Cards reversing field and getting ready to go back out there. Well, we are switching sides of the field here. And that one is a give for the Panthers, which is going to get forward for a gain of about 7. Again, just trying to get things rolling here. The rain certainly making things tricky for us, but we are starting off the second quarter here, just under 12 minutes to go. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 8 for the Panthers. Oh, and that one, the Panthers gave it on 3rd and 2, tried to get first down yardage. Looks like the Cardinals may have held. Certainly celebrating at the line. Looks like the Cardinals may have come up with a big stop there here early on in the second quarter, trying to get the ball back. And they're going to spot it at 4th down and 1, and you got to think the Panthers are going to be doing all they can to hold on to possession, so they are going to stay out with looks to go for it here.
Panthers have a 4th down. Let that defense hear you.
Oh, that one was a give to Paola's side. Paola thinks they got it. Cardinals think they got the stop. Waiting on an official ruling here. Both sides absolutely think they got it. Cardinals side signaling no good. Panthers side, of course, signaling good. So we're at a standstill here. They are going to say it's good. So the yardage marker may be competitive, but the Panthers do keep the drive going. Another fresh set of downs. So it's 14-0 here. If you're just joining us, a couple of little technical difficulties we're trying to work out within the rain, but Panthers are down 14-0 at the start of the second quarter, doing their best to move downfield and try to get some points on the board against a very stout Cardinals defense that has already included 2 4th down conversions today, one of which just now to give a fresh set of downs. Stein to drop back, looking to his right. He's going to fire way down the right side, and that one is swatted away by the hands of Colton Bowser, with Cy Thomas trailing in coverage as well. So the Cardinals come up big with a defensive stand. That's going to set up 2nd down and 10 for the Panthers from about their own 45-yard line, right close to midfield. That one is given to Stein to Shea, and he's going to get a gain of maybe 5 yards before being stopped by Braden Marks. So the Panthers are moving the ball well. That's going to set up third down and about 5 yards to go. And that does put them right at the midfield marker.
Gain of 3 on the play, 3rd and 7.
And Stein going to drop back here. Pressure coming. He throws to his right side, and that one is incomplete. So that's going to bring up 4th down and 7 for the Panthers. Again, down 14-0 here with about 9 minutes to go in the first half. So it does look as if the punt unit will come out for the Panthers.
Brady Millen lines up for a punt.
We'll see if time drives it.
Look who's back for the Cardinals. Eudora.
And that one is blown dead just before the punt can get off. Maybe a hold or something procedural. But this is 4th down and 12 now, it appears. So, yep, that's going to be a false start penalty indicated. Moving against Paola, so that's going to back him up 5 yards for the punt. It'll go from 4th and 7 to 4th and 12. Again, doesn't change a whole lot either way for either team. Still planning to punt it regardless. And that one is punted away. A good punt for the Panthers. Going to put this one almost inside the 20-yard line, and it will bounce that way. Take a Panthers bounce before being fielded at about the 22-yard line. So that's where the Cardinals will start. Drive number 3 on the day. Possession switches over.
1st and 10.
So 9 minutes to go. If you're just joining us, we welcome you in here. We are not at the pregame show. We're having some difficulties getting things pulled up here in the rain, but it is about 9 minutes to go in the first half. Second quarter, the score is 14 for the Cardinals, 0 for the Panthers, and the Cardinals just got the ball back on a punt, so they are trying to drive back downfield. They're staring down about a 78-yard drive is what will be needed to get them back to the end zone. It does appear to be Houston Carnegie out in the fold at quarterback once again. He's got Grayson Moody lined up directly behind him. It's going to be Duncan in motion to give over to Moody. Moody going to bounce over to his left side and keep staying on his feet, spinning and fighting. He's going to get forward for maybe 2 or 3, which will bring up 2nd down and manageable for the Cardinals here. And Carnegie gives that one on 2nd down and 9, they call it. That was another give to Moody. And he danced forward for a gain of just a couple, so it's going to bring up 3rd down and a fair bit to go. I believe it's going to be about 7 yards to gain. They're going to say it's 3rd down and 9 just about, so it's going to be a long 3rd down here for the Cardinals in attempt to get back into the game here. Again, 14-0. Cardinals, about 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter before the end of the first half. Carnegie gives this one over to Duncan. Duncan going to get through the first line, second level, and he's got a first down and a bit more down the sideline before he's forced out of bounds. I believe that was just past the 50-yard line. So again, over and over when the Cardinals need it the most, Keelan Duncan comes up huge in big moments and gives the Cardinals an opportunity at life here.
That run good for a Cardinal.
So it's 1st down and 10. Carnegie gives over to Moody. Moody going to get through the first level and be met by the linebacker core. He'll gain about 3 yards there, if not a little bit less. And we had talked through the previous weeks about, especially last week in Tonganoxie, they had Grayson Moody contained fairly well, all things considered. He wasn't breaking off those massive carries that we've gotten accustomed to seeing him do. However, the Cardinals responded almost equally well by saying, well, that's okay. We've got Keelan Duncan, who can also run it really well, and Bryce Mulvihill, and Cy Thomas himself had some big carries on the ground. So we know that at this point, even if Grayson Moody doesn't have a whole lot of room, he almost just becomes the setup for the big blows on the ground the Cardinals like to land. This one given to Duncan now. He's through the first, second level. He's gone! 10-5 touchdown Keelan Duncan, his second of the day, and the Cardinals take an even more commanding lead here in Eudora midway through the second quarter. It's going to be 20-0 now before the attempt at the PAT comes, which you got to think will be a 2-point conversion try for the Cardinals again. But Keelan Duncan breaks one of over 50 yards to bring that one home. He was going to get the first down and, man, just went through the first level, missed the linebacker's arms at the second level, and that's all it took. He is not a running back that you are going to catch if you miss a foot, and he is absolutely gone. It's going to be a Cardinals 2-point conversion attempt here. Up 20-0 on the Paola Panthers. 3 drives today, results in 3 touchdown scores for the Cardinals, and it'll be Houston Carnegie once again at the helm at the quarterback spot. And that's the first timeout of the half for the Cardinals before the 2-point conversion attempt. All right, so after the timeout for the Cardinals, they'll be respotting the ball right around the 2-yard line. They're going to rule it at the 1 for the Cardinals' 2-point conversion attempt. Looks to be Carnegie lined up under center. He's got Moody behind him, Preston White lined up to his left side, and then the wing formation with Duncan and Mulvihill. In motion goes Duncan. Carnegie stays on his feet, looking to his left side, tosses to a wide-open Grayson Moody. And that one, it looks like, fell out of the hands. Again, the wet conditions sort of rearing their ugly head once again for the Cardinals. So that's going to leave it at 20 points for the Cards, 0 points for the Panthers. 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter. And I would send you to a break, but I don't believe I'm able to at the current moment. So we'll give you some B-roll and keep things rolling here. So it's 20-0. 2 touchdowns on the day for Keelan Duncan, both fairly long. And another short-range touchdown from Grayson Moody, so it's been all on the ground today. Don't believe we've seen the Cardinals attempt 1 pass outside of right there on the 2-point conversion. And we expected that, I think. You see conditions like this, you see weather like this, and a team that's as strong as moving the football on the ground as the Cardinals are, and you can't think they try a whole lot of anything else other than just moving it on the ground, and they've been so successful at it to this point. So it's going to be Grayson Moody, it appears, to kick this one off. A little change of pace from Duncan, who handled the first couple of kickoffs of the day. Again, apologies to everyone for the sort of technical difficulties here. Believe it or not, we are not on the Fort Scott Community College pregame show. Handled that a little bit while ago. The rain showed up, and per lack of a better word, we've been struggling a little bit to keep things rolling up to standard. But nonetheless, we're going to bring you the best stream we can here. And it's Grayson Moody going to kick off for the Cards. He'll send a low kick over towards the left side of the field. That one is going to be fielded cleanly by the Panthers around the 35-yard line. They're at the 35, about the 40 is where the returner will go down. Believe he was met. Looks he was met by Elijah Klobes at the spot. So it's going to be around the 40-yard line for the Cardinals. We had talked a little bit earlier in the year about special teams defense and how much the Cardinals looked to struggle with that early on. You know, Hayden Catholic Topeka in the first opening game of the season ran back a kick return touchdown. They had a punt that was very successful as well, and it looked as if special teams may be a big issue for the Cardinals. They've certainly fixed a lot of that, eradicated a lot of those issues, but nonetheless still giving up a handful of yards on the kickoff returns, but the defense has been so stout, hasn't really mattered. Stein going to fake the handoff, toss over to it downfield, and that's going to overthrow Pichnenko, who had a step on Colton Bowser and Cy Thomas, but the pass goes a little bit too high. Stein, the other issue is when you have this Cards pass rush, which is so strong, just breathing down the neck of a lot of these Paola offensive linemen, getting past them oftentimes to the quarterback. It means Mason Stein didn't feel like he had that much time to try to get that ball away, and also just a really tricky spot to put a football accurately, regardless of the weather conditions or the defense opposing you. Once again, some defensive starters in. Looks to be Marks, Klob, Schreiner in at linebacker, along with Colton Bowser and Keelan Duncan at safety. Stein going to hand this one off, and that's going to be, oh, Shea was met instantly. He's actually going to go backwards. I believe that was a loss of about 2. All right, big 3rd down and 10 here for the Panthers. Stein going to straight drop back, looking to his right side. 2 receivers over there. He's got one with a step. Oh, Duncan got a hand up. That could have well been brought in on the Panther side by Landon Murdoch. Had a step on Duncan, but that ball was inches, and I do mean inches higher than Murdoch could get to. If not, that would have been perfect. It sailed just over the fingertips of outstretched Keelan Duncan. Could have been a really impressive grab on a 1st down, but nonetheless, Panthers looking at 4th and 10, and they will punt this one away yet again to a hungry Cardinals offense, sitting at 4th down and 10 at the moment from the 42. Good snap, good hold, and the punt is going to be pretty solid. It's going to sail down past the 40-yard line of the Cardinals before being fielded by Hubler. He's just going to let it roll. That one going to be picked up around the 25-yard line by the Panthers. So Cardinals will start with about 75 yards to roll to get towards the end zone, which we've seen today has not been a problem. Explosive carries on the ground has been the name of the game. We've known the Cardinals to do that well all year, but especially when it's cold outside, the conditions aren't great. Just exemplifies their strengths that much more. They're going to be starting from about the 16-yard line. So they're inside their own dread zone, the Cardinals are. Looks to be Carnegie under center. Flag going to fly. Looks procedural, likely a false start against the Cardinals, something Coach Steffen had communicated that he was really wanting to get cleaned up.
1st and 15 from the 11.
Nonetheless, going to back the Cardinals way up. We said they were in their dread zone before. They are positively buried in it now, as Houston Carnegie standing inside the 5-yard line to deliver the call to the team. They'll come out. Ball will be spotted. Looks to be at the 11-yard line. Carnegie going to give this one off to Moody. Moody going to fall forward for a gain of maybe 5.
Mason Moody carries for Eudora. Tackle on play by Luke Anderson.
All right, everybody, we are welcoming you back in here on Eudora Sports Live. We apologize for all the difficulties on the interrupted streams. We are just now reaching the end of the 1st half. Right there, the end of the clock hit zeros. The Cardinals sit 26-0 with the lead over the Paola Panthers. All kinds of action to end off the 2nd half there. Once again, we apologize to everyone for the spotty coverage on the night. We're doing the best we can here. The Cardinals will approach the locker room there. We'll take you guys to a quick break, and then we'll come back with the halftime show, update you guys on all the action from the first 2 quarters when we're back.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, studying animal science or learning about farm and ranch management. Maybe you belong here as part of Hounds Hoops on the hardwood. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
More time before you wake up in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Step by step, side by side, together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive. To learn more about how you can help protect and conserve nature, visit nature.org.
Your home for live, local sports. Varsity Sports Live delivers professional level coverage with high quality video and...
All right, everybody, we welcome you back in here on Eudora Sports Live from the halftime show. Cardinals lead 26-0 over the Paola Panthers. We've had a very interesting first half, a lot of action. I don't know exactly how much of the first half you guys got to see and how much of it was cut out, but we'll do our best to recap it to the best of our ability here. Looking at big performers for the Cardinals, you had 3 touchdowns from Keelan Duncan, which is just unbelievable. All 3 of them have looked relatively easy. He's kind of just gone through the first 2 levels of the defense and used his speed to break away. It has been extremely competitive up at the line of scrimmage, but Keelan Duncan has made it look extremely simple and easy at this point in the day. And, you know, Grayson Moody's had a pretty good night as well. He scored a touchdown of his own. He's been relatively limited on the ground, but again, that's only opened up Bryce Mulvihill and mainly Keelan Duncan that much more on the ground. Grayson Moody, we know, is a very large team player and very much so happy to do his part. And, you know, if that means getting a few touchdowns and a big night, he'll be happy with it. If that means, you know, rushing the ball on the majority of the touches to draw some attention so Keelan Duncan can get a lot of the offense, that's something that this team's going to be happy with as well. Panthers are at 0. Their first drive of the game was very much so the most competitive. That was the one where they immediately got a 40-plus yard catch to Sasha Pishnenko, got all the way down inside the Cardinals' red zone, only to have a bad snap that moved them into a long 4th down from just outside the 20, and then the subsequent pass attempt on 4th down fell incomplete. So the Panthers since then have struggled to get a whole lot closer than that. They sit with 0 on the board through 2 quarters. The Cards at 26. They missed a PAT, got a 2-point conversion, and then have missed their most recent 2 2-point conversion attempts. So it's been a lot. There's been a lot going on here. Again, I don't know exactly what you guys were able to see and what you weren't, but doing our best to bring it to you here. I'm Hayden Harvey on the call, along with Mr. Stephen Hamilton alongside with me. We're running the camera, doing our best to bring you guys the action here on a chilly Friday night. These Cardinals have been, as we said in the opening, white hot, and it may take some cold rain and wind to slow them down. Hasn't done it yet. The Cards still sit with a 4-possession lead here at the halftime show. We'll try to recap it a little bit more for you. We got still over 10 minutes to go in the break. People starting to warm up and dry off here. Everybody making trips down for hot chocolate and food and all the things of the sort.
The great thing is the rain has stopped.
Yeah, the rain has stopped. It's a bit drier here. It was I don't know if it was ever downpouring necessarily, but it was certainly wet. I mean, just a wall of mist for a lot of the game going. But nonetheless, the Cards have dealt with it well. They've put themselves up 26-0 going into the break. We'll take another little quick break and bring you guys back for a little more halftime show action. Brought to you by Attic Storage of Eudora. Keep it right here on Eudora Sports Live.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
For the best care for your pet, choose DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Dr. Matt Fair and his team are dedicated to providing high-quality medical care with compassion and a personal touch. They treat every pet as their own, ensuring they receive the attention and respect they deserve. For routine checkups, testing, vaccinations, chiropractic and acupuncture care, or surgical services, you can trust Dr. Fair and his team at DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Call 913-585-1115 to schedule an appointment today or visit DeSotoVetClinic.com.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here as part of Fort Scott Community College's John Deere Tech program. Maybe you belong here as part of the perennial playoff-bound Greyhound baseball team. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
For the best care for your pet, choose DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Dr. Matt Fair and his team are dedicated to providing high-quality medical care with compassion and a personal touch. They treat every pet as their own, ensuring they receive the attention and respect they deserve. For routine checkups, testing, vaccinations, chiropractic and acupuncture care, or surgical services, you can trust Dr. Fair and his team at DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Call 913-585-1115 to schedule an appointment today or visit DeSotoVetClinic.com.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, preparing for a career in healthcare as part of Fort Scott Community College's nursing program. Or maybe you belong on stage as part of the Hounds band or theater department. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
Are you looking for a trusted...
All right, everybody, welcome back in here to Eudora Sports Live. We're at the Attic Storage of Eudora halftime show, again presented to you by Attic Storage of Eudora Attic offers climate-controlled units, RV and vehicle storage, plus clean move-in ready spaces. As a veteran-owned, community-focused business, Attic features monitored 24/7 access with friendly on-site managers. Rent, reserve, and pay online anytime at attic-storage.com. So we bring you in here about 5 minutes from go time for the second half, just to drive home a little bit more what kind of first half we saw. For us, it was highlighted by struggling with our equipment and some technical difficulties, but by the Cardinals side of things, it was a very effective first half where they were able to move the ball very well on the ground. Most of the volume as far as carries go was actually being given to Grayson Moody, but all of the explosiveness was coming from Keelan Duncan. He had 3 or 4 massive runs, characterized mainly by his 3 touchdowns, all of which were of minimum 15 yards or more. I believe his shortest touchdown was the last one before the break, which went for 18 yards over to the right side. The 2 prior to that both went for closer to 35, if not 40 yards out. He has been unbelievably effective today. Preston White got a big catch on a crossing route near the end of the half on that last drive as well. The Cardinals have just looked as if they've kind of been able to impose their will on this Paola Panthers team. The Paola Panthers looked really strong on their first, I'd say, 2 drives of the game. They just unfortunately weren't able to finish either of them with scores. But up to that point, it's been all Cardinals. Through the second quarter especially, they were able to go wherever they wanted, however they wanted. Cy Thomas was the quarterback choice on the final drive of the first half, although it was Houston Carnegie for much of the first half. He had an interception late in the second quarter that ended up getting him pulled in favor of Cy Thomas. But we're just over 4 minutes from go here. We'll send you guys to another break and bring this one back once we get things straightened out a little bit more and ready to roll here for second half football. Keep it right here on Eudora Sports Live for some second half ball for your Cardinals.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, studying animal science or learning about farm and ranch management. Maybe you belong here as part of Hounds Hoops on the hardwood. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate freedom of the press is about your right to know. It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, preparing for a career in healthcare as part of Fort Scott Community College's nursing program. Or maybe you belong on stage as part of the Hounds band or theater department. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College. At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here as part of Fort Scott Community College's John Deere Tech program. Maybe you belong here as part of the perennial playoff-bound Greyhound baseball team. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
All right, everybody, welcome back in here to Eudora Sports Live for your Attic Storage of Eudora halftime show, brought to you by Attic Storage of Eudora, Kansas. It shows just about 70 seconds away from kickoff. I imagine they'll probably throw a few minutes up on the board as the Cardinals offense just now starting to come on over out of the tunnel. Paola's out on the far side end zone warming up. Just wanted to look over some stats and standings coming into this game. The Paola Panthers come in 4-3. They won their first 2 games of the year, then dropped 2 games. That put them at 2-2. They then have won a game, lost a game, and won last week in Bonner Springs. So this has certainly been a little bit of a war of attrition as time has gone on here. The Cards lead 26-0. coming back out on the field. We show 40 seconds to go time. I bet we are going to bump that one up a bit. But within the Frontier League, the Panthers sit at 2-3. That's good for 7th of 8 teams in the Frontier League. And the Eudora Cardinals currently 5-0 within the Frontier League. They are 1 game up on the Spring Hill Broncos, who sit hot on their heels. Only 1 loss within the Frontier League. And that Broncos loss was here to the Cardinals early on in the season. So the Cardinals not only trying to keep the undefeated streak within the Frontier League going, this would push them to 6-0. Also trying to finish the regular season at a record of 7-1 and lock up home field advantage all the way throughout their next handful of playoff games up to the sub-state finals. So we're ticking away on the time here, but I'm sure we're going to pump a few minutes up on the clock. Cardinals are out here warming up, truly trying to warm up. It is cool. It is chilly out here. It was raining earlier on. It is not raining now. We're going to kind of knock on wood and hope that that stays the case. It is amazing, however, the Eudora faithful and a lot of the Panthers fans have stuck this one out. They have stayed here through the cold, through the rain, staying here to watch their favorite teams. 3 minutes did go back up on the clock. So we can extend this halftime show by just a little bit and then send you to one more break before we kick off some second half football here in Eudora. We thank all the Paola Panthers faithful fans and watchers who may have tuned in here as well. We're working on getting both streams up and running at the moment. But right now we're just doing what we can to bring coverage to all fans on all sides of things. The Panthers looked really good on their first couple of drives of the game, but since then have kind of stalled out, just looking for a spark. They almost had that at the end of the first half. I'd say the biggest issue for them has just been keeping themselves out of long yardage situations. When they get stuck in long second and third downs, it's been very challenging for them to fight their way out of that. However, when they've been able to manage the ball well on the ground, not go backwards, sacks, bad snaps, things of that nature, they have been a team that is capable of moving the ball downfield and scoring some points. We're just going to have to see how they're able to capitalize on it as we get ready for some second half football. We're about 90 seconds away, I'm sorry, from kicking off half number 2. We're going to send you to one last short little break, and then it's second half football here in Eudora. Keep it here.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, preparing for a career in healthcare as part of Fort Scott Community College's nursing program. Or maybe you belong on stage as part of the Hounds band or theater department. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
We are kicking this one off here in Eudora for half number 2. The kick is going to go long over to the Cardinals end zone, and we're going to kick this one off with a 26-0 lead for your Eudora Cardinals. It will be their ball to start this one off. They have made a habit of winning the kickoff, winning that initial coin flip, and they always like to defer. We did see them opt to go the other way against Ottawa a little bit earlier in the year. We have learned that offensive coordinator and assistant head coach Jason Tharp is a bit more aggressive, a bit more offensive-minded. He does like to get the ball initially and try to go downfield and score. Coach Stefan, of course, a little more defensive-oriented. He would often prefer, as is standard usually, to get the ball at the second half. Give yourself the opportunity to stretch things out a bit. It looks to be Cy Thomas in the fold at QB. He's got Grayson Moody to his right side. Duncan to his left. Duncan gets the carry. He gets through one blocker, two blocker. He stays on his feet, and he'll get up to the 29-yard line. That's going to be very close to first down yardage for the Cards. So it'll bring up second down and just a little bit. Cy Thomas, again, the quarterback in the fold. Houston Carnegie started almost the entirety of the first half. But since then, it's been almost all Cy Thomas after an interception from Carnegie near the end of the first half. Offensive stats for Eudora. Grayson Moody, 11 rushes for 63 yards and a touchdown. Keelan Duncan, the big one, 8 for 154 and 3 touchdowns. Grayson Moody gets the carry here on second and short. He's going to bounce it out to the left side and grab a first down and about 5 extra yards going out of bounds just shy of the Cardinals' 40. So Houston Carnegie had 1 carry on the ground for 8 yards. Cy Thomas in the first half, 1 carry for 12 yards. And Bryce Mulvihill had 2 carries for 24 yards. Of course, all of the touchdowns did come from running backs on the ground, 3 for Duncan, 1 for Grayson Moody. Although Moody, I would say, got maybe 60% of the rushes, even higher than that. He is absolutely the bell cow back in this offense. He gets the majority of the touches. Duncan just tends to get some of the explosive ones. Once again, Thomas with both running backs lined up. He's going to fake the give to Moody. He's going to keep it himself. Dances through a couple of blockers. Stays on his feet, still spinning out of that one. He's going to roll out and get upfield for a gain of maybe 7 yards. Dancing out of bounds right there. Unbelievable effort from Cy Thomas, coming back from injury last week. Had maybe the best game we've ever seen from him. But he is right back into it. Gets on the ground and gets a very nice carry. That is going to set up. They give him 9 yards on that. They're going to say second down and just 1 to go. So Preston White lined up as the far receiver. He had 1 catch in the first half, along with a carry on a jet sweep for a handful of yards as well. Cy Thomas has both running backs alongside him for the entirety of this drive so far. Thomas going to keep. He's going to give over to Duncan to the right side. Duncan gets 1 block, 2 blocks. He's gone maybe again. Duncan down the sideline. 20, 10, 5. That's 4 on the day for Keelan Duncan. Unbelievable work here in Eudora. Keelan Duncan just over 2 quarters played, and he has averaged a touchdown and a little bit extra in each quarter thus far today. He's got 4 touchdowns through almost about 2 quarters worth of time. Unbelievable. Just over a minute into their first drive of the game, the Cardinals walk away big on that one. That's going to make it 32-0 for the Cardinals as the PAT attempt here coming up from Dunback. Unbelievable. That was a rush of over 50 yards for Keelan Duncan. Caden Dunback puts that one up, and it is good. So that's going to be 33-0 for the Cardinals after their first drive, the opening drive of the second half. They bring it up big, 33-0 your score. And we're going to take a quick little break and bring this one back to you. Keep it here, Cards fans. Cardinals are up big as we go into half.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
For the best care for your pet, choose DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Dr. Matt Fair and his team are dedicated to providing high-quality medical care with compassion and a personal touch. They treat every pet as their own, ensuring they receive the attention and respect they deserve. For routine checkups, testing, vaccinations, chiropractic and acupuncture care, or surgical services, you can trust Dr. Fair and his team at DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Call 913-58...
It is Grayson Moody to kick this one off for the Cardinals. With just over a minute into the second half, into the third quarter, the Cardinals came up big with a long touchdown to Keelan Duncan again. Seems the story on the night, and that one was fielded inbounds. Bodie Shea fell on his back right up close to the end zone. They might be starting from inside the 5-yard line here. They're going to rule it at the 2-yard line for the Panthers to start this drive. So this Cardinals defense has a really good opportunity to come up big here perhaps. Panthers looking to stay competitive in this one and get themselves a score to push themselves a little bit closer. to rocking the Cardinals off balance a bit, but they've been rock steady the whole day to this point. Looking to keep that the case. Well, the Cardinals defense is signaling safety, evident to what kind of play they're wanting to put together. They are already signaling a desire to get into the backfield here, as it's going to be Stein to hand off. He's going to give, no, he's going to keep it himself. Stein may have gotten out. He goes down, falls into the end zone. Waiting on a call. I do not think that one is a safety. I believe they'll give him forward progress, but my goodness, he did not gain much of anything, if at all. So they are going to give him forward progress to the line of scrimmage. So he'll avoid the safety, but just barely. And if you're the Panthers, even less so than getting a first down, you almost just want to set it up to where this punt is possible. And all kinds of pressure coming from the Card side. Panthers once again attempting to try to catch them off sides, but Cards do a good job to get back on and recover. Stein under center. He's going to give this one to Shea. Shea gets past the line of scrimmage, and he's going to fall forward up close to the 5. That is going to bring up 3rd down and long. He may have gained 2 or 3 yards at most. So we are now just over 2 minutes into the 3rd quarter. Cardinals lead 33-0. We again thank everybody who is here present with us. I apologize for some of the technical difficulties we had a little bit earlier on, but we believe we are about as good as can be now. Clock is running. They give him 2 yards of credit, so it's 3rd down and 8 from the 4-yard line. Stein lined up. He's got a receiver to his left and his right. The snap goes high. He catches it. He's still going to try to let this one fly down the right sideline. Thomas in coverage, and that one is going to fall short. There is no flag thrown. Paola may have wanted it. Cy Thomas on a little bit of an underthrown deep ball does come up big in coverage. So it is 4th down and 8 now for the Panthers. Interested to see if the decision is to punt this one away or if you almost want to stay out on offense and take your chances of converting it. Of course, you don't want to give the Cards great field position, but from this spot, a punt would be tricky to pin them deep anyways. The punt team is going to come out for the Panthers, it so appears. Des Hubler will be back to return.
Make sure you get the audio working.
Oh, man, so the punter for the Panthers is standing in the back. Oh, that snap goes way high. It was caught. Cardinals are wanting a big signal here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So there was a delay of game penalty called against the Panthers. So that'll be half the distance to the goal because they are at the 4-yard line. You can't give them a 5-yard penalty, so it'll be half the distance. So now from the 2-yard line, it is 4th down and 10 for the Panthers. The punt crew is quite literally standing in the end zone, blockers alike. High snap. Snap looks to be good. The punt gets off clean miraculously. He's going to fall to Hubler at about the 30-yard line. He's going to break 1 tackle, 2 tackle, and he's going to try to get close to the red zone. He's going to go down at about the 21-yard line. He is just outside the red zone. So the Cardinals start with the best field position they've had all day, knocking on the door of the red zone before they even start the drive, up 33-0. And we'll see if Thomas comes off the field here, if Carnegie looks to be the one going out. It looks as if Cy Thomas will come off after a good stand as a defensive back out on the field. Houston Carnegie will come in once again. Last snap of his at quarterback, I believe, was the interception near the end of the 2nd quarter. So he is back out at quarterback. Looks to be Grayson Moody, the single back behind him, followed up by Mulvihill and Duncan playing his wings on the offensive line per usual. So 1st and 10 from the 16 is the ruling here. Gives to Moody, and he's going to fall forward to about the 10-yard line. So a good gain of maybe 6. Again, Moody has been the man receiving the vast majority of the love as far as carries go tonight. Keelan Duncan has a lot of the flashy numbers. His 4th touchdown of the night on that previous Cardinals drive.
And they have just been so effective at this point on the ground. Paola has had no answer for it. They haven't for most of the year. They've struggled with the run defense.
Carnegie going to give this one over to Moody once again. Moody going to work over to the right side. He gets past the 2nd level, and he is going to go down inside the 5-yard line for the Cardinals. I say hello, everybody, to Mr. Aaron Feely from the Paola Sports Live team coming on over, getting the stream up and rolling there, and he may be joining me on the call, I get a figure.
Yeah, now we've got the dual stream going here as we are simulcasting from the Eudora Sports Live to both Paola and Eudora.
And maybe best case scenario for what we were looking like in the first couple of quarters.
Power outage up top cost Paola a good chunk of this game, and unfortunately, those of you that stuck with our Paola stream jump back on to see the 33-0 score. But we are back up and running on both ends.
And that one was given to Moody, I believe, up at the goal line, and he dances in. That's going to be a touchdown for the Cardinals. Moody's second of the day. So 4 touchdowns for Grayson Moody on the ground, or for Keelan Duncan, 2 on the ground for Grayson Moody. That's going to push the score out to 39-0 in favor of the Cardinals, and the PAT crew will come out. Looks like Dunback going to come out to attempt the extra point kick. Snap good, hold is good. Carnegie going to let that one go to the foot of Dunback, but a flag does blow it dead before the play could go.
Yeah, I think Paola was offside a bit there.
I wouldn't know. It's foggy in front of me.
Yeah, we're now all huddled up together inside of one far side press box. We got probably well over the recommended number of people for this particular space, and I'm guessing by at least 2.
We're not going to speak to OSHA at the moment. We're just going to run our broadcast and do the best we can with it. So here's Dunback on the second PAT attempt. Snap hold is good, and that one goes up perfect once again. So Dunback nails the PAT. That's going to put the score at 40 points for the Cardinals. They crack 40 early on in the third quarter. Panthers sit trying to get their first score of the night, despite looking really good on the first couple of drives. They've yet to been able to turn it into any points on the board as we sit almost halfway through the third quarter here.
So Paola's hopes and dreams of clinching that home playoff game tonight looking a little sour for those of the Paola viewers still watching with us. However, came in as the 7 seed, 4 teams behind them, 1 game behind. A head-to-head victory over Lewisburg gives them the advantage there. So it's just going to be a matter of if anyone else can get victories of that 3 and 4 bundle as to what Paola's going to be doing next week and how the tiebreakers go. Paola came in with the point differential tiebreaker over all 4 of them. However, currently 40-0 here in Eudora, and Eudora definitely not worrying about what they're going to be doing next week. 6-1, looking like they're going to be going to 7-1 here, Hayden.
Well, that's
and they're going to have home field advantage through the East.
And that's the other thing to keep in mind if you're a part of the Paola faithful is this is not the same as it was last year when these 2 teams both came in. Both, I believe, were under 500 when they played. Both were struggling a bit on the year, as this one is fielded by the Panthers, going to run it back to past the 20. This is not the same setup where the Cardinals and Panthers were both relatively struggling teams. The Cardinals look like a juggernaut within 4A this year, so this is nothing that the Panthers, not the kind of game where you walk in and go, well, we thought we were going to win. What happened there? This is a very tough Cardinals team, and this Panthers team, as you said, coming in just fighting for seeding for that first playoff game. And with other teams across Kansas, you never know how things will play out. So all they can do is continue to fight here. Looks like that one will be spotted just outside their own 20-yard line. So outside of the dread zone are the Panthers, but certainly not far away from it.
Oh, we got a little early there.
Yep, not a slow call from the ref whatsoever. That's a false start. The Panthers get caught on, so that's going to back them up 5 more yards. It'll be first down and 15. And now they will be inside their own dread zone, as we've coined it, their own 20-yard lines. That'll be the 17 will be the spot.
That's one that the coaches are just not going to be happy with either. Trace Metcalf, most of his team still wasn't even set and he took off, so I can't imagine that was the cadence that got him to jump there. So we wonder what that was about, but now, first and 15.
Stein stepping back, lets this one fly. That's Pichnenko with a really impressive grab on the slant route. Got a little bit of separation, and he's going to grab first down yardage and a little bit more. Panthers are going to move the sticks here. Early on, Stein, that connection with him and Pichnenko has been really, really impressive thus far. You saw the long completion early on, and that may have been the first time they've actually connected on a pass since then. But it looks, every time they complete a pass, it looks as if it's something that they've been doing routinely for years.
Yeah, that one just a simple slant route, but he got inside on his man. Great route out there.
Stein now
going that way again.
Ooh, that one was almost caught at the line, and that's going to be another big catch by Pichnenko. He's close to the 30-yard line. That puts the Panthers across the 50-yard line of the Cards, well into Cardinals territory. That was Bowser in coverage, and he tried to climb the ladder, and instead he was the ladder getting climbed.
Yeah, they've been good at that all year. Sasha Pichnenko, he's going to be missed next year, the senior wide receiver. Just a stutter and go, absolutely. I mean, he had his man on the ground. You're not sure how much of that might have been the rain. But
well, it hasn't been raining for a good quarter at this point, so.
That doesn't take it off the turf, though, unfortunately.
Certainly. Absolutely. I mean, we saw that last week in Tonganoxie where the Cardinals played. I was amazed that the players were not filthy by the end of that game. It was raining the entire time. And you're right, the slippery certainly does not go away. Here's the 1st and 10. Snap from Stein. He's going to let this one fly. Wants Pichnenko again. That one, through the hands of Des Hubler on the back end. Knows he probably could have gotten an interception there. However, Panthers live to see another down. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 33 once again, Aaron.
And that is the issue you run into when you run these one wide receiver route concepts is, on one hand, you are just trying to isolate one of your best receivers and catch him off guard, but you don't have anyone else out in the route to draw those safeties up. So 3 men back there defending it and just unable to connect.
Yeah, it's certainly tough on the defense. Knows more so what's going to come their way. There, Stein tosses that one over off. Flag flies in the backfield. That's a really impressive start from Bodie Shea. Does a good job to spin past a handful of defenders and get upfield for a gain of maybe 5. But nonetheless, the flag is going to fall towards the Panthers.
One of the most impressive 5-yard runs that's not going to count.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, the hold definitely sprung that whole thing. He did make a nice broken tackle in the backfield, but unfortunately on that left side, I believe that was Lotto that might have been the guilty party.
Well, and it's so tough, too.
Sorry, go ahead. Hey.
You're good. I was going to say it's so tough on, I don't want to say broken plays, but runs that kind of fall out of structure. The line kind of just starts trying to block anyone they can. It's so easy to have those little miscommunications and grabs. And, of course, ref sees a jersey one go one way. That's going to fall in the way of holding every single time.
So you'd imagine they're going back to the air here, Hayden.
Certainly so. 2nd down and a mile. Stein lets this one fly. Wants his man down the seam. That one's going to fall incomplete, just a little bit overthrown. That was Elijah Klobes on coverage, trailing with Blake Koslow, who was the target.
Yeah, Koslow has been their 2nd biggest receiver this season. He's been one of the deep play threats. Just 8 catches coming in for 203 yards and a pair of touchdowns. He's been the deep ball guy out of the slot. Right there, they run him on that seam. That time they did have multiple guys in coverage. They ran that smash combo to the right side, had the curl in the corner to take the safety up, which left him one-on-one with a backer up the seam. You'll take that every time, but you got to hit the throw.
Absolutely. And here's Riley Nice in the backfield. He got the sack, and that ball looked as if it was going to pop out, but Stein does a phenomenal job to hold on to it. So when it looked like the Panthers may have been able to dig themselves out of a deep hole, instead on 3rd and 20, they take a sack to go back even farther. That's going to be 4th down, and truly, I made the phrase a Kansas mile earlier. It is every bit of that here. As we're, go ahead.
That's one where you just want to not be greedy about it. Obviously, it is 3rd down. You're down by 40. You want to make a play, but a screen pass is called, and Eudora had it sniffed out. I think the coaches will tell him next time, just throw that thing in the dirt, move on to 3rd down. He tried to hold it, see if something opened up, and obviously nothing did.
And nothing does. It's 4th and 31 here. The punt will come off. Flag flies in the backfield. The punt for Paola will fly inside the 20-yard line. Hubler fields it, shakes one man. He's going to try to reverse field here. Low center of gravity, makes men miss. He's got blockers in front of him here. Oh, Hubler has nobody near him as far as Panthers go. Hubler is gone. 10-5 touchdown. Des Hubler, his first touchdown of the year. If I recall correctly, he had a pick 6 last year against the Panthers as well.
I'm not sure what that was behind the play. I don't see a flag, but Eli McMillan for Paola just kind of hog-tied one of the blockers and slung him to the ground. That was a little procedure decline. No foul for that play. They do get Paola for the illegal procedure at the snap. We all saw that flag come in, so the touchdown will count. I am curious about that. At about the 10-yard line, just taking out one of the Eudora blockers. I guess the officials were watching the fascinating touchdown run like the rest of us were.
I mean, maybe frustration, you'd think. There's certainly an aspect to it. because I don't imagine any football player. These guys are all so competitive, of course. Nobody likes to be down by that amount. And here goes Dunback to try the PAT. They were a little hesitant to try him earlier in the day. But they're doing the setup here. It's going to be Carnegie on the hold. 5 minutes to go, just over in the third quarter. Ooh, that one was batted down and blocked at the line.
I think that was Martin.
I believe so. So that PAT is going to fall no good for the Cards.
Curtis Martin just getting the pressure right up the middle.
I've got an announcement for everyone.
I'd say went up and got his hands on it, but it was almost like he got his chest on it. I mean, he was right on top of that thing right as it was kicked. So, hey, there you go. You take 1 point off the board. You hold them to 46.
Yeah, and it's, especially when you're blocking a kick, you're never really going to worry too much about putting the hands out. You get through, you've got a shot at blocking the kick. You're kind of just going to throw your body, get as wide as you can, and throw your body out there. Block kicks, always something defenses and special teams coaches are going to be pleased with. And for the Panthers, just trying to fight and claw at this point, Aaron.
Yeah, and this will just be about pride as they head to the end of this. Obviously, into a point now where you start talking about, are you going to get running clocked by one of your in-conference rivals? Never a good feeling there. So we'll see, probably going to see some aggressive offense for at least the next couple of drives before any white flags get waved. I can't imagine this is going to be come out and send the backups out there.
Now
but also a little bit of history still out there. I mean, Stein's already got the passing record for Paola. Might be looking to try to add to it, get Pisneco, the senior, his last regular season game. A little bit more action in the receiving game.
Of course. For a lot of these seniors, too, you just want action. As this is a really good return on the Paola side. They're going to get upfield to about the 50. That was Easton Hensley with a really good return. Going to roll it to the right side past the 50. And, Aaron, I think another aspect to it that's tricky is, these teams did play in Paola last year. It was a thriller of a game. You look at the stat sheet and you see a 3-touchdown win for the Cardinals. That was a game that the Panthers were leading late into the fourth quarter. So just, you've got to think they come in against an opponent like this and you want to get, I don't know if vengeance is the right word, but you want to get your payback. You want to do all you can to come in and put up a good fight. But the Cardinals have been really, really strong all day long, not by any lack of effort from the Panthers side whatsoever.
Well, and that was kind of a plague that was an issue for Paola all of last season. Second half collapses that it reared its head a couple of times this year with Spring Hill and Tonganoxie getting away from them, but for the most part, they've done a much better job closing when they have had the athletic advantage on the field this season. And it's odd because normally that's something that comes with maturation, with growth, with more juniors and seniors. This lineup is almost just filled to the brim with sophomores starting for the varsity side, so it's very fascinating the jump that they have made. But obviously you want to talk about a jump and what Eudora is doing this season. It has been unbelievable to watch.
Yeah, and on the flip side for Eudora, it's actually been exactly what you said. It was just maturation. Last year, this was a lot of what the Cardinals looked like, was a lot of sophomores, even a lot of freshmen starting. And as the team got a little older and more mature, you saw a lot of that cohesiveness kind of blend together. Certainly a tough one at this point. There's a good carry from Bodie Shea, I believe it was, who's going to get upfield past the first down marker. So that'll be a fresh set of downs for the Cards here, or for the Panthers, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and so one of the better runs for Shea thus far this year. Or tonight, not this year. He has had some phenomenal runs on the season. But Eudora has been truly excellent thus far on the season. On the season, stopping the run and running the football. We talked about that if you were watching the Paola side in the pregame, that Paola's lone advantage might be through the air.
Oh, and that snap might have actually fallen out of the hands of the quarterback.
Yeah, Stein's had issues tonight. I mean, you want to talk about blame it on the weather.
Part of it's a wet football, I'm sure.
Yeah, they have not had very many wet football games this year. A sophomore quarterback in there might not be so accustomed to it.
Yeah, it's so hard. I mean, how do you prepare for it? Truly, right? There's really no way to prep for it during the week. And we saw early on in this game, of course, I can't speak to how much we did see across the two broadcasts, but that was something both teams were struggling mightily with, even on the kickoff. And this carry for the Panthers, they're going to fight forward for yards again. I believe that was Shea once again.
Maybe try to look up there.
That was Lotto.
Right between the guards. Getting a little bit of a push. Not sure if maybe Eudora's started to put some youth out there.
Looks to be Gavin Etter on the edge, who has spent a lot of time out on the field this year, but not necessarily an early-on starter. Looks as if maybe Crable is out of the folds. May see Brock Long over there on the defensive line as well, as this one is going to be handed off over to the right side for the Panthers, and man, thrown out of bounds. I believe that was Mulvihill with the toss out of bounds.
Hensley just on the power run right side. Get the fullback out there as a lead blocker, seals the edge, backside pulling guard. You're able to run that right off tackle, get the first down. So it looks like Shea might have, with the score being what it is, might be getting saved for next week in some postseason play. Hensley in there, looking to tote the rock for the remainder of this one, or at least for this series.
Absolutely, and you and I, we'd mentioned it a little while back. I don't know if I can speak to what the Panther season has looked like, but sometimes for these guys who don't get a lot of start time, it's really cool for them to be able to get out into the fold and try things out with some of the starting guys. Another handoff for the Panthers. They're going to go forward for just a couple. But yeah, sometimes it's really special for a lot of these players not only to get varsity snaps, but also, when you're coming up on postseason play, as you mentioned, all of these players getting a feel for what it feels like to be with this starting offensive line and running these rush concepts and these pass plays certainly could be something that comes in handy for them in the later games of this season.
Well, this was certainly a tune-up game for both of these teams as postseason football around the corner tends to get mighty cold, Hayden.
Absolutely.
You're seeing some guys on each of the sidelines right now kind of doing that little hopping, hands kind of clasped together, just trying to keep yourself warm in any capacity.
Well, and again, you want to talk about not being able to prep for it. I mean, you can't prepare for that degree of cold, and I said in the pregame over here, this may have been the coldest night that I've seen as a Kansas City native out here all season. I don't know if we've had a night this cold yet.
The Paola has been fairly blessed, I know, to this point on the year with fantastic weather through 7 games, and here in the 8th. I mean, there's a way to prepare for wet footballs. You can get the hoses out. You can dampen them up in the water buckets. You can do all that. But there is nothing to prepare you for cold other than cold. You have to experience the game. You have to experience it at practice. And so the sideways wind and the little drizzle of rain out there, it's in the mid-50s, Hayden, but it certainly feels a lot colder thanks to some of the elements here. And we're seeing a Eudora team that came out prepared to just run that football, march the pill up and down the field right between the tackles, and Paola has just, they look like a team with a bunch of sophomores in the lineup, experiencing it kind of for the first time at the high school level. It'll be an experience they can grow from, and for Eudora, it's a nice test before postseason play.
There you go.
Right back here on this same field. Win today clinched the 1 seed for them, so they'll be on this field quite a bit, right up until potentially you're talking about the state championship games.
Yeah, certainly something that's within the cards for the Cardinals here, which is just amazing. I mean, something that a year ago we wouldn't have thought as a possibility, but nonetheless, the team is here. They've been playing really, really well. We'll send you guys, we'll keep you here as we're getting close to kicking off. That was the end of the 3rd quarter. So as we were recapping everything for you, we have switched sides on the field. We are now in the final 12 minutes of this game. Aaron, I don't know exactly what the high school rules look like as far as a running clock and things of that nature, but 12 more minutes to roll here.
It should be 42 points. Creates the running clock in Kansas. I'm not sure.
We'll see after an incompletion. I imagine the Cardinals will run the ball the majority of the time along with the Panthers. That one was a give to Hensley over to the left side. So it's going to bring up 4th down and 11 here for the Panthers from the 16-yard line. Got to think they'll be wanting to just go for this one, try to give yourself a shot at some points.
And into the game comes the senior Lane Hoffine for Paola. The lengthy tight end. Been one of the stalwarts of the basketball team for a couple of years now. Decided to give football a try, and he's out there here on a big 4th down.
And Stein thinks to give this one off, rolling to his right side. He's going to let that one fly. That's going to be, almost caught, juggled, and incomplete on the crossing route. I believe that was Klobes with the breakup. That was Garrett Golay with the pass breakup. That was Emmett Blackmore with the target. Did a good job to get his hands to the cleat. So it does look that a running clock is in order. We are just under 11 minutes left to roll here in this fourth quarter. Cards take over. First down and 10 from within their own red zone at the 13-yard line. At home for at least the next 3 or so games. And this will also put them at an undefeated 6-0 within the Frontier League. Even if Spring Hill won tonight, we said the Cards just needed to win to lock that one down. Oh, that ball went out. That was a strip sack that went wrong for the Cardinals, and I believe Jay Noble, who lost that ball, that may have been recovered by the Panthers. It was, so the Cards come out. Cards come out for one offensive snap, and the Panthers will go right back out there. Maybe that's as it should be, that long drive from the Panthers. Maybe they have earned a possession for a little bit longer.
Well, the defense makes the big play, gets the pressure, takes the ball away, and now a chance to potentially get that goose egg off the scoreboard here.
Yeah, they're going to do all they can here without a doubt. I mean, you're first and goal from the 4-yard line, basically just 4 shots. If you run the ball, you could get it. If you throw it, you obviously could get it a little easier, but a little more running the risk of something going wrong in the backfield. That one's going to be a handoff to, I believe it was Hensley. He's going to push up a little bit closer. I think he got a couple of yards, but maybe not breaking the plane quite yet. Oh, he got 3 of the 4 he needed, so he's at the 1-yard line. Panthers sitting on the cusp of trying to break the scoreless run through.
Stein's been really effective in the quarterback sneaks thus far this year, but we'll see if they choose to go that way to get the points on the board or if they try to hand this to Hensley for some stats. That is how they'll do it.
That is going to be handed to Hensley. He had a little bit of forward progress rolling, but was immediately pushed backwards by an onslaught of red and white from the Cardinals side. So it is going to be 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line, they say. Clock is still running, so we are about 8.5 minutes to go here in the football game. Panthers with a running clock, Aaron, if they don't score on this possession, there's no guarantee that they get this ball back. Of course, you think it's likely, but nothing guaranteed here, so it's going to be very important for them to try to get the points. They've got effectively 2 more snaps to do it.
And once again, we'll point out, Stein has been very, very solid on the sneaks, but I think they might have lost a yard on that last play, so it would be 2 yards here.
It would be a long sneak for sure.
Now, granted, he's averaging 3 yards per sneak on this season, so, I mean, I guess you can always give it a shot.
Right, 2 more downs.
You talk about what they've been doing up in Philadelphia at the NFL level with those quarterback sneaks. The Paola generally doesn't do much of the pushing of the tush, but they've got a very solid senior center that they really love. Stein just takes the snap, and he just kind of goes for the ride. Stays right up behind him. And we'll see here on 3rd down if they choose to just go that way. Maybe you bring Shea back in, try to get him in the end zone. See, again, they like Hensley. He's one of the experienced upperclassmen tailbacks on this team. Might try to get him a touchdown here in the regular season finale. I would say, though, the way that they've been at the sneak this year, that would probably be the route I would go if you're just desperate to get points.
Absolutely. Yeah, and as you said, if you're averaging, say, 3 yards a carry on it, the math says you should get it on the first try, but then even then, if you get some forward progress and don't get it, you still have another down after this. It's going to be 3rd down and goal from the 2 officially.
Doesn't look like a stance where he'll sneak it.
Stein takes that one, gives the handover, and that is a touchdown for Hensley for the Paola Panthers. So they get rid of that goose egg, as you mentioned. That's going to put them to get their touchdown, which just feels fitting to me, especially with that first drive and getting so close to scoring. It feels fitting that they got at least 1 today because they were certainly playing like it early on, Aaron.
Yeah, especially that opening drive looked like it was going really well. That 3rd down snap right over Stein's head kind of put pay to that, and then after that, Eudora grabbed the momentum, and a team like them, once they grab it, they very rarely let it go. This Traxel adds the extra point while I'm talking, and they absolutely have not 46 consecutive, but those consecutive no longer unanswered. Paola finally with 6 on the board.
Make it 7 on the board. I'm not going to make the joke. Someone else can if they'd like to, but. So we are at a running clock situation. If you missed it, if you're just tuning in here, handful of technical difficulties of ours in the first half, but we did get you locked in here good for the second half of football It is 46-7 currently in favor of the Eudora Cardinals. We thank all the Paola Panthers faithful who have tuned in here. If anyone is hanging out on this side of things, watching this game go down, we are at just over 6 minutes left to roll here in the fourth quarter. We are at a running clock, so 6 minutes from now, this one will be just about done. Cardinals looking to move to 6-0 within the Frontier League and 7-1 in total on the season. This will also make 7 straight victories for the Cardinals. If I recall correctly, the longest streak they had in recent memory was 8 games. I could be wrong on that one, but if that's the case, certainly gives the Cards an opportunity to try to break that record here, as their 7 straight wins, lost the opener at Topeka Hayden Catholic, and they have not dropped a game since then.
And we'll also let you know, elsewhere on Varsity Sports Live, Tonganoxie and Ottawa in quite a battle. That one's 10-7, Tonganoxie in front, but Ottawa's got the ball with 5 minutes to go. They just crossed midfield. That's important for some seeding.
Yes, that'll be an important one to watch as well, as this one is fielded by the Cards. Looks like quite a good job to stay on the feet there. The return is going to go up just past the 30-yard line. That was Lyric Langley getting the ball and fighting forward for quite a bit. So yeah, certainly one to watch there for the Chieftains and the Cyclones, locked in a tight battle. Those are two teams that the Cards put up quite a tough fight with. I believe it was a 24-14 victory over the Cyclones about a month ago, and a very hard-fought 21-17 victory in Tonganoxie last week. That is a team that I will tell you what, they are going to be one to watch in the postseason as well. They're such a tough, hard-nosed football team. They do just about everything well. It was a very impressive win for the Cards to get away from last week.
They seem to get better as the year goes on, too.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're one of those teams that just gets stronger as time goes on. That one was a give from Jay Noble, tossed it over to Jarrett Phillips, the senior, who's going to get upfield for a couple of yards. At this point, it does look to be backups and third-string players out on the field for the Cardinals as well. Third-string quarterback Jay Noble, who has actually gotten some starting snaps this season already, going to go back out on the field as we are under 5 minutes to go here now in the game. And don't go anywhere. If you're hanging out here with us after the game ends, we will try to grab up some stats for you, and we will have a little post-game show afterwards as well. So we'll hang out for a good little bit. So if you're hanging here with us, don't have anything else going on, or you want to spend your evening with us, feel free to stick around for the post-game show, because we'll be sticking around to talk some football a little bit more after the clock hits 0. That one is a carry by the Cards over to Brody Breichison.
And it was a nice cut upfield. Read his blocks beautifully. I think that play was designed to get outside, kind of head off the tight end on a stretch play, but his tackle won the battle inside of it. He cut it up, brings up a 3rd and 1.
And even if the play is designed a certain way, if your blocker wins big and you've got a wide open lane, that's something a running back's going to take every single time. Noble under center here on 3rd down and 1. He's going to hand that one off. I believe it was to Phillips. He's going to fight forward. I believe he did get forward progress for the first down. And that was Phillips, so the first down is converted. Noble going to come over to the Card side, grab the play call. We are under 3 minutes to go now on Friday Night Lights, the final Friday night performance by the Eudora Cardinals of the regular season. They will not be leaving the nest here anytime soon. They will get at least, I believe it's 3 more home postseason games after tonight. As I hadn't looked into it, but you said they will likely be the 1 seed within the division.
Now, Hayden, let's not look too far ahead.
True enough.
But they will be favored. You'd imagine a lot of them. What a run here.
Jay Noble gets upfield for maybe a lob to slide between defenders. And that's going to be a fresh set of downs there. I might be counting my chickens before they hatch a little bit too much for sure.
Counting your birds, that is?
Counting my Cardinals.
First down, 10, Eudora.
This is where we start podcasting.
This is going to turn into a baseball broadcast real fast here on this drive.
Oh, yeah.
In the final 2 minutes here, backups in, 46-7.
I do love to see some of these players getting in for the Cardinals. I mean, it's cool to see a lot of these guys who may not get meaningful minutes otherwise getting to step in here. And just under 2 minutes to go, Niels look to now be taken. How baseball broadcasty do we want to get?
why don't we go back in time for a little personal anecdote? That's how baseball we're going to get.
Fire away.
I remember, as I'm looking out at the receivers down there, having a game like this myself in high school, my freshman year, something that my coach used to get on to me about something fierce in that freshman year of high school was how often I'd unbuckle the bottom 2 straps of my chin strap in practice. I keep that thing buckled up, Feely, every single day, and wouldn't you know it, late October, early November game, and it was pouring rain on us. It was one of those 34 degrees and raining. We were playing DeSoto High School over on the other end of Missouri, and finally we're up 40-something like this, and in come some of the freshmen. I got sent out at wide receiver. My hands were frozen solid. I couldn't buckle up my chin strap, and we got a delay of game penalty because I couldn't get the chin strap buckled.
Oh, I bet Coach was real happy.
You would not believe the number of bear crawls I was crawling come Monday.
Gotta love the high school football memories, man. As that last knee looks to do it here, the Cardinals will come away with a 46-7 win over the rival Paola Panthers in Eudora. This the final regular season game for the Cards. We do not know if it will be the final regular season game they play or the final home game they will play. We will keep in touch on all that and see what the situation seems to be, but clock hits zeros there. The Cards get a dominating, huge victory on a Friday night here. They'll close out the regular season 7-1. Panthers will close out their regular season 4-4. Cardinals move to 6-0 within the Frontier League. I believe that falls to 2-4 for the Panthers.
So now for Paola fans, it's time to go out and scoreboard watch a little bit. 4 teams behind them at 3-4. Paola came in 4-3. And again, they had the tiebreaker coming in, but that was on point differential, and a 39-point loss tonight might impact that as well. So Paola will hope to get lucky, get a couple of breaks, and stay at home as either the 7 or the 8 seed next week. For Eudora, it's pretty simple. You can catch them right here at Eudora High School next week on a special Halloween broadcast of Eudora Sports Live. And for Paola, we'll wait and see. Either way, we'll have it on Paola Sports Live, whether it's at home or on the road, so you can catch it on our channel as well. For you Paola fans watching, Eudora celebrates. Paola will head to the bus and scoreboard watch just a little bit. And what a performance once again by Eudora, but this is not becoming anything new for them.
No, this is something that they've been fairly used to, and that this is a Cardinals team that has been so good. You know, they've been really good throughout prior seasons, but last year they went, I believe they were 4-4 in the regular season, right where the Panthers end up this time around. And if that's a silver lining for Panthers fans, you mentioned that there's a lot of younger players on this roster. That was the Cardinals last year. I mean, they were the team that you knew had talent, you knew had potential, but just didn't seem like they were quite as cohesive as a unit as they needed to be. Nonetheless, this offseason, they played together as a team a little longer, spent some time in the weight room. Players got bigger. Of course, these high schoolers just growing. Some of them really did just get taller, get stronger, and the Cards now do look like a really strong team going into this postseason. They'll look to host some more games at home, but for the Panthers, there's definitely some positive outlooks here. I mean, you did some things well on offense. Early on defensively, they fought in well. I think a lot of it's just execution. I mean, in those moments, being able to come up with some of the plays or some of the stops in crucial situations, where the Cardinals, on the other hand, that's been where they've excelled this year, is being really good in those critical, gotta-have-it moments. But nonetheless, a really impressive one. Aaron, we'll give you some closing thoughts here if you'd like, and then we can head on over to some post-game show action.
Well, obviously, you look at it not only just in clutch time, but another thing Eudora's got going for them here is their style really translates to November football. The run defense is solid, and the rushing offense, when it comes to bad weather, when you got rain, when you got a little snow that might be on the horizon not too far away, it always helps when you can just go between your guards and you can just enforce your will on an opponent and just push the line of scrimmage. That is how you can win those grind-em-out, tough, gritty games. For Paola, something to look forward to, though, is that kind of in the opposite end, the offense seems to do better when they're able to hit the finesse, when they're able to get the long ball going, get the passing game going. And their quarterback, who already, like we mentioned in pregame over on Paola Sports Live, we said it on the broadcast earlier, came into today already holding the Paola season record for passing yardage at any point in Paola school history. And he's only a sophomore, so they're going to have him back for potentially 2 more seasons to just continue to grow that passing game, continue to grow that offense. And as long as you're able to have a strong passing game, you can put up points. And if you can put up points in high school football, you're always going to have a chance. So these are 2 programs, both heading in the right direction, both with bright futures ahead of them here, Hayden. And might have different seasons this year, but both of them looking forward for Eudora, looking towards a potential state playoff push for Paola, looking to maybe make a little noise in a playoff run this year, and then look out for 2026.
Absolutely. They'll be a really fun team to watch for the rest of their games this year, and I look forward to calling another game of them next year. This is a really fun team to watch 2 years in a row, and we have a lot more we could say, but we'll give you guys a short little break, and then we'll bring it back to you for a little bit of post-game chatter as well. Keep it right here on Eudora Sports Live for a little more coverage before the end of your Friday night.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
More time before you wake up in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Step by step, side by side, together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive. To learn more about how you can help protect and conserve nature, visit nature.org.
Your home for live, local sports. Varsity Sports Live delivers professional level coverage with high-quality video and broadcasters that know your schools and community.
Touchdown, Tonganoxie!
With the support of local businesses, you never pay to watch varsity sports. Live, local, free high school sports coverage. That's Varsity Sports Live.
Grass gets it away. Moore's down the middle, and he makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans!
Keep up with the action at varsitysportslive.com. Live, local, free high school sports.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they...
All right, everybody, we welcome you in here on Eudora Sports Live for one final time from the Eudora Animal Hospital postgame show. For 40 years, Eudora Animal Hospital has been caring for pets and livestock with fair pricing, trusted service, and compassionate care. Pet owners from across the region trust their four-legged friends to Eudora Animal Hospital. To learn more, visit eudoravet.com, and you can see the rain starting to come down lightly here once again, and the Eudora faithful is out on the field celebrating over in their end zone. As we close this one out on a Friday night, this was a very impressive game for the Cardinals, 46-7 victory over the Panthers. Paola Panthers, we talked about. You know, it's the kind of team where being able to move the ball through the air, even if they don't make a ton of noise in the playoffs this year, even if they have one fun playoff game or a couple, you really look forward to the next couple of years and what this team could look like. Because you mentioned, Aaron, so much youth on this roster, so many younger players, and you've got to think as they get older, there's no guarantee, of course, but things tend to just get more cohesive as these teams spend more time together. As we head to the end of this night and towards the end of the season, particularly on Paola's side, what are any thoughts you have from this game and the outlook on the rest of the year for them?
Well, I think the biggest thing that you can take away from this is this was probably a big learning experience, not just how to deal with the weather, but how to deal with games where the emotion can sometimes get high and get away from you. Every now and then you're going to run into teams, especially when you're a young team like Paola is, where this is going to happen. And I think other than maybe like a play or two, they did a good job keeping their wits about them, keeping the emotion in check, nothing over the top taking place. And how do you punch back going into next week is going to say a lot about this football team. That is something that a lot of good teams, usually you can tell early on, that are growing in that direction, is when they are young, when they are still up and coming and they're not there yet. You have a game like this, there are some teams, they come back next week and this is still on their mind. You practice bad because you're still down in the dumps. You're not looking on to the next game. Good teams, they'll take this on the chin, go to Monday, whatever. This was nothing. We got a new game to prepare for. We're done with Eudora, on to the next one, and I think it's going to be a big learning experience for Paola and for Paola fans to get a look at what this team has right now with all their youth. Are they going to be a team that comes back next week and fights back, puts this behind them? And for Eudora, on the other hand, they're an experienced team. I would not be surprised if they celebrate this literally for tonight, and by tomorrow they wake up thinking about their playoff game. I mean, like you said, a team with a lot more juniors and seniors filling out that lineup. They've been there. They've done that. They're ready to roll. They're going to be that 1 seed. They're going to have, the 16 seed from the East coming here. They're going to be massive favorites in that ball game. And I think Eudora, we're going to learn a little bit about them as well, is how do you come out when you have that advantage, when you're not coming off a loss, when you've got all the high emotions in the world. How do you put a victory like this behind you? And I think, personally, Eudora should do well to display that next week.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't even know if been there, done that. Like, they've played a lot of games, but even for a lot of these players, I'm very excited on the Eudora side to see how they fare in maybe beyond 1 or 2 postseason games, because a lot of these players haven't experienced a team of this caliber. A team this strong is not necessarily something that the Cards are super familiar with. But yeah, it's very impressive to close out their regular season on this note, just as a team that has had some seasons that weren't bad by any means, but just never looked like a juggernaut. And this season, they have truly looked the part. They've beat so many good teams in so many convincing ways. But it's absolutely, you mentioned maybe a tune-up game for both teams, which I liked a lot. For the Panthers, you're looking at it as maybe a little more so dialing in the things that we think we need to be better about for that first postseason matchup and put on a good performance. For the Cardinals, you're looking at it as, okay, what very small, very minute details. Like, we know our identity, we know what we do well. More so at that point, they've got to be looking at, all right, how do we fix those procedural issues? Make sure we're not committing those fouls at bad times. Make sure we're not missing blocking assignments. I mean, the very small, minute details that build a good team. And as you said, those things are going to matter even more in late season November football. And this is a team that is built to be very good in November. So if they're able to clean those things up, this team could legitimately make a run. I look forward to seeing what they do the rest of the way out. This has certainly been a fun one here. We'll look forward to what's next for both teams and get some final stats for you after another quick break here. We'll bring it to you for the final time on Eudora Sports Live.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care?
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
I used to drive an ambulance as an EMT, and I've always tried to be a safe driver. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. In my car, if I see a truck or bus taking a turn, I know to take my time. When big vehicles turn right, they may swing wide to make the turn. If you try to sneak in, well, it's a lesson you'd rather not learn the hard way. When trucks and
All right, everybody, welcoming you back in here to the final time tonight from the Eudora Animal Hospital post-game show. Cards starting to Some are starting to make their way off the field. The majority are still out there celebrating, some running routes. We just wanted to bring you what's next here on Eudora Sports Live along with Paola Sports Live, and then look forward to some of the stats for some of the players and close it out here. So first and foremost, next week on Eudora Sports Live, we have nothing else besides football. We don't necessarily know what the matchup is yet, but we know for certain the Cardinals will be hosting the 16 seed here next week, Friday. You imagine at 7 p.m. as per usual. If anything changes, we'll try to relay that to the best of our ability, but Panthers will be the same, I believe. They will be playing a playoff game next Friday. We don't know for sure yet if they will be hosting or if they will be on the road, but it will be Panthers and Cardinals football next Friday, a week from today, around 7 p.m. Some Halloween night action for both teams. And then from there, we can chat over some stats and then close this thing out. Aaron, if you're ready, you want to talk over some Paola offensive stats on the night.
Well, obviously not a particularly explosive offensive game statistically, but once again, it was the usual suspects. I mean, Bodie Shea led the team in rushing, had his 40 yards. Average fairly low tonight, just over 2 yards a carry. He'll head into the postseason looking to bounce that back. Probably a slightly less stingy run defense on tap. And for Stein, adds 87 to his season total that's already in the record books, but the completion percentage, not necessarily where he likes that to be, 3 for 14 through the air. All three of them, though, going to Sasha Pashneko, who had another long ball game, did number 5. All three of those catches, all 87 of those yards, went to number 5. The senior wideout is having himself a career season this year.
Yeah, and again, on a particularly not explosive night, still managed to log some impressive stats. You love that for the Panthers side. Moving over to the Cardinals side of things, Grayson Moody had a really good night. Keelan Duncan, a phenomenal night. Grayson Moody ended 15 rushes for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns. He got the majority of the touches tonight, but not outshining on carries too far. Keelan Duncan, who had 10 carries of his own, 218 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground. So what more can you ask for from a guy? He broke away on the ground multiple times, big rushes across the board. Bryce Mulvihill had 2 carries, 24 yards in total, 1 rush for 8 yards for Houston Carnegie, 2 rushes of 21 yards for Cy Thomas, and then Jay Noble got in for 2 carries on 3 yards. That does it for the offensive stats for the Cardinals. Preston White also had 1 catch as well early on, or late in the first half at the end of the second quarter. That's about it. We had some good stats, good fun game here. We look forward to Panthers ball next week. That'll be on Paola Sports Live. And then right back here on Eudora Sports Live next Halloween night will be the first sub-state matchup against the 16 seed. The Cards will be hosting it here at home. We thank you all for tuning in, sticking with us through all the ups and downs, difficulties, rain, dry, cold, breezy, wind, all of the above. We thank you all for sticking with us. And we say good night here. Go Cardinals. God bless and good night.
From the gridiron to the hard court, the pitch to the mat, don't miss any of the action. We're there with live, local sports